All right, good morning. Court's on the record, Commerce City Municipal Court for March 3rd of 2022. For the people that are on Zoom, please leave your devices on mute. I will ask you to unmute your device when I'm ready to call your case. For the people in the courtroom, when I call your name, I'm going to direct you to come forward to one of the three stations up front. While you're at the station, I do need you to speak loudly and clearly. One of my responsibilities today is to make sure everything that you say gets properly recorded. We're going to go ahead and start with Emiliano Ayala. If you would come to station number 1, this is case number EM 8633. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, I have a document that alleges that on January 25th of 2022, at about 9:30 in the evening, in the area of 5460 East 60th Avenue here in Commerce City, it's alleged that you committed the offense of assault. Do you understand what it is you're accused of doing? All right, the city attorney indicated that he reviewed the elements of that charge with you. In other words, he explained what he would have to prove if this case went to trial in order for you to be found guilty. Did he go over those elements with you?
Yeah.
Did you watch the advisement of rights video? Are you currently a veteran of the United States Armed Forces or in active duty?
No.
The city attorney says that after discussing the case with him, you wish to have the court appoint an attorney to represent you in this case. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, I'll need you to raise your right hand, please. You swear affirm under penalty of law that the testimony and evidence you provide to the court regarding your application for a court-appointed attorney will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you. All right, the address I have for you is on 60th Avenue, apartment number 330. Is that still a correct address? That's correct? All right. We don't have a contact phone number for you. Do you have a telephone number where the attorney would be able to contact you?
Yes. 720
Uh-huh.
767
Uh-huh.
6168.
All right, 720-767-6168.
Correct.
All right. Do you have any ownership interest in any real estate of any type?
I have ownership of any?
Yeah, I'm going to be going over your assets with you.
No.
Okay. Yeah, no, I get it. Are you single, married, separated, or divorced?
No, married.
Do you have any minor children that you're responsible to support?
Yeah.
Kids?
Yeah.
How many?
7 kids in total, but I have 5 children. So I take care of them.
Okay, and they're all under 18?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, are you currently employed?
Yes.
Where do you work?
Panel masters.
Say it again.
Panel masters.
Okay,
LLC.
okay. And approximately what do you earn each month, the gross, before taxes is taken out?
Probably around 42.
4,200 a month? Is your wife working at all?
No.
Are you receiving any other type of public assistance in terms of income? Disability payments, welfare payments, food stamps, anything like that? Okay. Do you own any cars?
Yeah.
How many?
One.
Okay, what kind is it?
Chevy.
Okay, what year? I'm sorry?
The 2002 Chevy Suburban,
Okay.
green color.
Do you still owe money on it or is it paid off?
Still on it.
Do you know approximately how much is still owed on it?
Right around 42, I think.
Okay, what's the monthly payment?
154.
Okay. Okay, what's that?
It's a 2012 Yukon XL.
I'm sorry, it's what?
Yukon XL.
Uh-huh.
And have that's payment for that is $600.
All right. Do you have any retirement plans, savings plans? Own any savings bonds, treasury bonds, any other type of investment vehicle? No. Okay. So there's 5 total people in your household, or I'm sorry, 7 total people in your household? 5? 5?
5.
Okay. How many adults?
2 and 3 children.
Okay. Are there any court orders for child support?
There is one, I was waiting to talk with one of the people from Adams County, just to wait for them to give me a call. Go on.
Okay, so they've started some type of,
It's not.
they're starting to take action to collect past due child support, is that correct? Okay, give me a moment. Yeah, that's fine. I just, for me, it's that there is, not how much. Oh. The only thing I'm looking for is the only thing that's missing. The indigency schedule. I intentionally leave it up here. No, did she do a affidavit for? Okay, I bet you she put that schedule with the paperwork. Yep, take it back. Sure, I was blaming her. Not where it normally is. You said 4,200 a month was your gross monthly income?
Yeah.
All right, you're good by $270. All right, give me a moment. All right, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you in this case. We're going to set your case for a pretrial conference. When you go to the windows in the lobby to see my clerks, they're going to give you the notice of the new court date. We'll provide the attorney that I appoint to represent you with information so that they can contact you and try to assist you in this case. So when you go to the windows, they'll provide that new court date for you. Do you have any questions? Okay, go ahead and go to the windows in the lobby, see my clerks, they'll give you the notice. Ryan Basinger, if you would come to the lectern right in the middle there. All right, first I have a request to set aside the default that entered when you failed to appear yesterday. I'm going to grant that. Your request is timely. The city attorney has no objection. So the default is ordered vacated. All right, the second document says that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of driving a defective vehicle, that's a 2-point violation, the city attorney will dismiss the original speeding charge against you from January, it looks like 7th of 2022 at about 10:22 in the morning in the area of the 7500 block of Highway 2 here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today, by pleading guilty to this reduced charge?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you are waiving all of the trial and appeal-related rights that you were advised of in that video?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will?
No, sir.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No, sir.
Then to the added reduced charge of driving a defective vehicle, a 2-point violation on January 7th of 2022 here in Commerce City. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty? I'll accept your guilty plea. Anything you want to tell me that I should take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you? All right, you have a very good driving record, excellent driving record. Your scheduled fine's $120. I'm going to drop your fine down to $60 plus surcharges plus court costs. When you go to the windows in the lobby and see my clerks, they'll tell you the new total and they'll work out payment arrangements, okay?
Thank you so much, sir.
You too. All right, Ryan Adams Chavez and Miss Kristen Leitner. I'm not sure.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
We're on the record in case number CM 303637.
Thank you. And Your Honor, good morning. Kristen Leitner, counsel for Ryan, and my attorney number is 32024. And I am counsel for Ryan in a youth in transition case for children that are aging out of the foster care system. And I know that those type of cases are relatively new, so I'm not sure if Your Honor is aware, but that's how I know Ryan.
Okay, I show him as 18 already, correct?
Yes, yeah. So I was Ryan's guardian ad litem in a dependency and neglect case out of Jefferson County, and I still am for his younger siblings. But now my role is just shifted somewhat and is voluntary with him after he's turned 18.
Okay, is he there with you?
He is, yeah,
Oh, okay.
he's right here.
Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right. And Ms. Leitner, would you waive further reading and advisement with regard to the charge in this case?
Yes, we do.
Okay, thank you. And what I have is that the location of the offense is going to be amended to 12500 East 119th Avenue. And the date of violation is being amended to January 14th of 2022. Do you have any objection to those two requests for amendments made by the prosecutor?
No objection.
Okay. Second, he says that you and he have agreed that we're going to set this matter over for a pretrial conference. Between now and then, if Mr. Adams Chavez completes 16 hours of useful public service, a Making Better Choices class, agrees to restitution to Mr. Ernest Martinez as part of the court order in the amount of $235.75, and commits no new law violations, has no contact with Josiah Martinez, does not return to the property at 11893 East 114th Place. Let's see what else. There's something in here about, oh, he's going to share in the restitution with two other co-defendants. If everything is in order on the next court date, then I can dismiss this case. Is that a correct statement of the proposed conditions of the diversion in this case?
Yes, that's our understanding.
Okay, can you flip the camera to Mr. Adams Chavez? Okay, is it okay if I call you Ryan?
Yes,
Okay, Ryan, do you understand the original charge that was filed against you?
yes,
Do you understand what the city attorney is offering you in an effort to resolve this case?
yes,
Have you had sufficient time to speak to Ms. Leitner regarding the options available to you on this case?
yes,
Are you satisfied with the service, advice, and representation she's given you thus far in this matter?
yes,
Okay, and is this what you want to do in terms of set the case over for a new court date? Either comply or you can still reject doing what's requested here, but at least between now and the next date, if you do comply with everything that's being requested, on your next appearance, the case will be dismissed. Do you understand that?
yes,
You also understand that you can change your mind. You can decide you don't want to do any of this stuff, and then on the next date, you could simply plead not guilty. Do you understand that?
yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. If you'd flip it back to Ms. Leitner. Okay, we normally set these things out about 6 or 7 weeks to give people time to do the class in the community service. So can you check your availability? Let's see, today is the 3rd. So we're looking at like April 14th. No, wait a minute, that may not be enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that's 6 weeks out.
Okay,
And we
I'm
do
available.
at 1:15 on the 14th.
1:15.
We could-
Yes. Well, is it possible? I'm not 100% sure if I can do that, Your Honor. Could we look at another date or
Could you
in the
do,
morning?
yeah, we could do the following Thursday, the 20, we could do either Wednesday, the 20th or Thursday, the 21st. We try to do all these at 1:15. Is it the time that's the problem for you?
Okay. No, actually, you know what? On the 14th, yeah, that's what was a little tricky, but if we do the 14th at 1:15, I can make that work.
Okay, so we'll set this
Okay.
matter over for a pretrial conference to Thursday, April 14th at 1:15. My clerks are going to send out the information to you by email today. They'll include the referral to the people that put on the Making Better Choices class. It's really essential that he contacts them right away because that class fills up. I want to make sure he gets into one that's available to him before the next court date. Obviously, when he finishes, they'll give him a certificate of completion. We need that submitted on or before the next court date. In terms of the community service, he can do the community service anywhere. It does not have to be done in Commerce City. The only requirement that I make is that the place that he picks to do the community service must be a legitimate nonprofit organization. Okay?
Okay.
Churches, schools, rec centers, Meals on Wheels, food banks, libraries, anything that's convenient for him that is a legitimate nonprofit agency. Have him do the work. We'll send the form to get filled out with the packet that you get. Make sure the form gets filled out and that needs to be submitted. And then the rest of this, I'm not sure how Mr. Galvin anticipates Mr. Adam Chavez paying his proportionate share of the restitution. But try to get that worked out by the next court date. And then it's really easy. Stay away from the property on 114th place. Don't commit any new offenses and stay away from Josiah Martinez. If everything's in order on the next date, the case will be dismissed. Ms. Leitner, is there anything else I need to address?
Do you have the address? The address that I cannot go to?
Yes. What is the address to, I want to make sure I get down the address that he cannot go to. That's where the offense occurred, correct?
Well, interesting, the location of the violation is being amended to 12500 East 119th Avenue. The restraining order that's being requested is for 11893 East 114th Place. Now, obviously, all I have is the ticket. That address doesn't appear on the ticket anywhere, so I have no idea what that's about.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything else?
I don't think we have any other questions, no, for
All
today.
right, so we'll see you both back on April 14th at 1:15. And again, my clerks will email you all the information you need to accomplish the order. Okay?
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
you're free to leave the meeting. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Uh-oh, I thought he was going to stop right on the corner. Oh, now I need to back up. The two amendments at the top. All right, Sarita Johnson, if you would unmute your device, please. Good morning. You're still muted. There you
Okay,
go.
I'm here.
Okay, give me just one moment. Okay, Ms. Johnson, I have a document that alleges that on February 4th of 2022 at 10:35 in the morning, in the area of 5990 Dahlia Street. That's the Walmart store located here in Commerce City. It's alleged that you committed the offense of theft. Do you understand what it is you're accused of doing?
Yes,
Okay. Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
I did.
Are you currently a member of or a veteran of the United States Armed Forces?
No, I'm not.
The city attorney says that he explained the elements of the charge of theft to you. In other words, he explained what he would have to prove if you pled not guilty, in this case, went to trial, in order for you to be found guilty. Did he go over the explanation of that charge with you?
Yes, he did.
Okay. He also tells me that you and he have worked out an agreement that we're going to set this for a new court date. Between now and then, if you complete 16 hours of community service, a one-day petty theft class, stay out of the Walmart and commit no new law violations. If everything is in order on the next court date, then I can dismiss this case. Is that how you wish to resolve your case?
Yes,
Okay. When you leave this meeting, my clerks are going to send you a notice of the new court date. That's your deadline. They're going to send you the referral to the people that put on the class. It's important that you contact those people right away so that you can get the class signed up for and done before the next court date. When you finish, they'll give you a certificate of completion. It's your responsibility to make sure that certificate gets submitted to my court on or before the next court date. My clerks are also going to give you the form we use for community service. You can do the community service anywhere. It doesn't have to be done in Commerce City. The only requirement that I make is that the place that you pick to do the community service must be a legitimate nonprofit agency. So find something that interests you, that's convenient to you, make sure it's a legitimate nonprofit, do the work, have them fill out the form. And again, it's your responsibility to submit that to the court on or before the next court date. And then the rest of this is easy. It's stay out of the Walmart and don't pick up any new cases. If everything's in order on the next court date, then I'll dismiss the case. Do you have any questions?
so is the information going to be sent to me through email?
Yep, you'll get it
Court
later
date and
today.
everything?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I think that's all I have to ask.
Okay, you're good then. All right, you can go ahead and leave the meeting.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. All right, Isaiah Larson, if you would unmute your device.
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you have a camera function?
Yeah.
Go ahead and turn it on.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's okay, you're good. All right, I have a document that alleges that on January 14th of 2022 at about 8:40 in the evening in the area of 15101 East 104th Avenue here in Commerce City, it's alleged that you committed the offense of damaging property. Do you understand what it is you're accused of doing?
Yes.
Okay. The city attorney says that during your discussions, you and he went over all of the elements of the charge. In other words, he explained the different parts of the charge that he would have to prove in order for you to be found guilty of this offense if it went to trial. Did he go over those parts with you?
What offense are we talking about, Your Honor?
The
Are we
damaging
talking about
property
Josiah
charge?
Martinez? Against Josiah Martinez?
Yeah, I don't know anything about the victim. What I'm telling you is this is about the charge that happened on January 14th of 2022 at 15101 East 104th Avenue. It's charged to damaging property. There is a request for a protection order with Josiah Martinez, but I don't know what, if any, involvement Josiah Martinez has with the case. Does that help clarify things for you?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, so did the prosecutor go over the parts of the charge that he would have to prove for you to be found guilty?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently a member of or a veteran of the United States Armed Forces?
No, sir.
Give me a moment. Okay, the city attorney says that you and he have worked out an agreement that we're going to set this for a new court date. Between now and then, if you complete a class called Making Better Choices, complete 16 hours of useful public service, have no contact with Josiah Martinez, pay your share of restitution in the amount of $235.73, stay away from the property located at 11893 East 114th Place, and commit no new law violations. When you come back the next time, if everything is in order, this case can be dismissed. Is that how you wish to resolve your case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, when you leave the meeting, my clerks are going to reach out to you by email. They're going to give you a notice of the next court date. They're going to give you a referral to the people that put on the class. It's really important that you contact those people right away because those classes fill up. And if you wait too long, you won't be able to get into a class in time before the next court date. So contact them this week, get signed up, get the class done. When you finish, they'll give you a certificate of completion. It's your responsibility to make sure that certificate gets filed with the court on or before the next deadline or the next court date. My clerks are going to send you the community service form. You don't have to do the community service in Commerce City. You can do it anywhere. But the one requirement that I make is that the place you pick to do it must be a legitimate nonprofit agency. So find something that interests you, make sure it's a legitimate nonprofit, do the work, have them fill out the form. And again, you need to make sure it gets submitted to the court on or before the next court date. The rest is easy. Stay away from that address. Stay away from Josiah. Don't get into any new trouble. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, you can go ahead and leave the meeting. Have a good day.
You as well.
Well, you've amended the location of the offense, but your protection order is for a completely
Right.
different location.
Because the,
That's where the victim was. Okay, that's fine. That's a, I can. parse
I know,
that kind of
but
thing
like,
out.
believe me, I'm like,
You know what?
like, where's Waldo?
I don't want any training. I don't want any training.
Speaking of so bright tomorrow,
Mhm.
I've really been called about. I've seen prisoners at jail. One with 12 cases, one with 6 cases, one with 3 cases.
You know, I didn't get the jail reports yesterday or the day before. I don't know, I mean, I just don't know why I didn't get them. The most recent one showed we still didn't have anybody in.
I
So,
mean, when we get some of our,
I know,
it'll be like an hour and a half. Just trying to figure out
sure, well, it's gonna have to be done,
salad days or.
but I've only got 3 weeks left.
Yeah.
Sorry to say. So why is Chris setting up that?
Vietnamese interpreter.
Gotcha.
And we have Korean.
They're not the same.
He thought he spoke sufficient English, but I don't think he does. Well, will he know when the interpreter registered with that? Will he know that? If you told me to do so. Pretty much.
So how's your sleep analysis stuff going?
I'll tell you, but I saw pulmonologist in Manchester. I went to a Jewish doctor, so I said over there,
Okay. But dog, but it also says dog lover, so that kind of is an offset on
all
that.
right, so then. let's see.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh, did I say that? Yeah, forgot about that.
What's wrong with natural tech? Yes. When they see the sleep doctor in like April 4th, they see the pulmonologist. They see Russell Jewish sleep doctor in like April 28th. Like I have a folder now.
Mhm.
Of what's become. On the bottom line, it's on my top.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
I'm unsolvable. So I have like 4 names with steroid.
So have you ever even sought out anybody to teach you how to meditate? You know, to be honest with you, when I was a freshman in college, the dorms were so noisy, I couldn't get any sleep. One of the guys, who was a friend of the priest that lived on that floor, because they had Jesuit college, so, you know, priest on the floor, he hooked me up with somebody, and that guy explained to me how to do it, and it worked. He also explained to me how to put on noise in your room to block out the other noise. And it's like white noise, except then it was music. I started sleeping with the radio on, and then each night for a while, turned it up higher and higher until it was a nice steady sound. And that between that and meditation, I had zero trouble sleeping by about the third week. That's how fast it went.
The only thing is I suffocate. Like a gag.
Yeah, PJ says that I stopped breathing too, but my breathing is regulated, so it's slow anyway.
I think everyone in the world actually has sleep apnea.
I think you're probably right.
They just now registered again, so I am approving them, and I will definitely let you know.
Yeah.
We have those people.
So that's all we have is just those two people, right? The interpreter and the defendant.
So I have 2 defendants on Zoom right now, and I'm trying to get the interpreters.
Okay.
Here. Yes. Joanna? Joanna, you should have a button that says join breakout room on your screen. If you could click on that, please.
Oh, we just have to.
No, the interpreter isn't on yet. I'm still waiting. I work at the CLA. They said they put on the registered, and I'm waiting for them to give me to the official.
Joanna Hernandez. Are you there?
No.
I don't see Joanna Hernandez on the docket at all.
Yesterday.
Hmm.
And, here's the weird thing. She's supposed to be, she was supposed to send in her motion. Well, the next thing. The meeting is yesterday. She was supposed to-
And so we're also waiting for the Korean interpreter.
Yes.
Okay. She's in a vehicle. Go ahead and tell her that. Krista. go ahead.
Joanna? Joanna? You should see a button on there that says join breakout room. Could you click on that, please? Wasn't joined yet, but we can use whichever it has.
Is there a Korean interpreter on with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I'm going to send you over to a breakout room.
Should be.
Hello?
I think that the
Hi, are you our Vietnamese interpreter?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have a problem with the computer, so it's okay now.
Not a problem at all. I'll get you right over to your breakout room, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go ahead and call the next case. All right, Brennan Brockhouse Easton, if you would come to station number 3, please. Good morning. Okay. I have a document that alleges that on or about January 14th of 2022, in the area of 15101 East 104th Avenue here in Commerce City, that you engaged in conduct violating the city ordinance regarding damaging property. Do you understand what it is you're accused of doing? All right, the city attorney has indicated that you and he have come to an agreement that we're going to set this for a pretrial conference. Between now and then, if you complete a one-day class called Making Better Choices, 16 hours of community service, have no contact with Josiah Martinez, stay away from the property at 11893 East 114th Place, pay your share of the restitution of $235.75. If you can come back at the next court date and all of this is in order, I can dismiss this case. Is that how you wish to resolve your case? All right, did you watch the advisement of rights video? Are you currently a member of or a veteran of the United States Armed Forces? The city attorney said he went over the elements of the charge. In other words, he explained the parts of the charge that he would have to prove if you went to trial on the original case in order for you to be found guilty. Did he go over those elements with you? Okay. All right, so when you go to the windows in the lobby to see my clerks, they're going to give you the notice of the new court date. It's going to be in approximately 6 weeks. That gives you plenty of time to get everything done. They're going to give you a referral to the people that put on the class. It's important that you contact those people right away so that you can sign up for and get the class completed on or before the next court date. When you finish the class, they'll give you a certificate of completion. It's important that you make sure that certificate gets submitted to the court on or before the next court date. My clerks are going to give you the form we use for community service. You can do the community service anywhere. It does not have to be done in Commerce City. The only requirement that I make is that the place that you pick to do the community service must be a legitimate nonprofit agency. Okay, find something that interests you so that it's less like punishment. Volunteer there, do the work, have them fill out the form. And again, it's your responsibility to make sure that form gets submitted to the court on or before the next court date. Make the arrangements to take care of your portion of the restitution. Stay away from Josiah, stay away from his house. Don't get into any new trouble. If everything is in order when you come back, I completely dismiss the case. Do you have any questions? Okay, go ahead and go to the windows in the lobby and see my clerk.
I don't know what you want to do. So she was here yesterday, she's here today.
Mhm.
There's no motion to set aside. She's
I'll
on
just
her
do it
phone.
all. I saw that she's in her car.
Just moved your jet over to you, Adam, but she she's not. Someone is there in yours, but she's not moving.
Yeah, you have to move during it.
I did. Okay, Georgia.
All right, Joanna Hernandez Rosales, if you would unmute your device, please. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, can you tell me why you failed to appear yesterday?
Because I read my ticket wrong. I thought my court date was today, but when I looked this morning, it was yesterday, so it was a misunderstanding on my part.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and vacate the default.
Okay.
The city attorney has no objection. So give me just 1 second. All right, city attorney indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of speeding 55 in a 45-mile-per-hour zone, that's a 4-point violation. He will dismiss the original charge of speeding 75 in a 45 on January 31st of 2022 at 10:20 in the morning in the area of 85th and Highway 85 here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today, by pleading guilty to this reduced charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you are waiving all of the trial and appeal related rights that you were advised of in that video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the added reduced charge of speeding 55 in a 45 zone, a 4-point violation on January 31st of 2022 here in Commerce City. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
No, Your Honor.
All right, your scheduled fine in this case is $200. That's way too fast on Highway 2, and you live real close to Highway 2, so you know you can't go that fast on there. I'm going to reduce your fine to $160 plus surcharges, plus court costs. When you leave the meeting, my clerks are going to reach out to you by email, either later today or tomorrow. They're going to tell you what the total is, and if you need them to, they'll work out a payment plan for you. Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, keep in mind, Highway 2 is a 45, Quebec, here's a 45. Highway 85 on the other side of where you live, that's a 45. Tower Road's a 45. There's no place going through this city that you can go that fast, all right?
Okay.
All right, you can go ahead and leave the meeting. Keep an eye out for that email. Have a good day.
Thank you.
I don't think he gets to use this as a catch. So are you going to send this Jen and the Korean interpreter to a breakout room so we could go over the advisement with it?
Yeah, but for some reason, Zoom's not letting me create another breakout room.
Oh, I thought you had like 3 of them.
And I only have 2 right now. And
Okay.
It's not letting me open another one. First, gonna figure out why either.
Okay.
So it's gonna send just to Adams, but then another guy. I know, I don't know. They said I can close all the blinks and start over, but they're talking and I
Right.
was talking.
Yeah, he's got to go over the advisement.
And I'm like,
Yeah, that's what takes time is they have to go through the advisement.
You're showing this restitution amount, or this is
I don't know if that's
divided amount?
each or, yeah, I don't have an answer to that.
Okay.
That's why I said that needs to be clarified with Adam and the first guy.
Okay.
I would imagine that's each of them have to pay that, just because the amount's not that big. But I don't know. I don't know. He wasn't clear. I find myself getting hungry today. Georgette Hazel, if you would unmute your device, please. Good morning.
Okay,
Good morning.
good morning.
All right, I have a document that indicates that if Georgette Hazel pleads guilty to the charge of violating the city ordinance regarding an animal attack on January 28th of 2022 at about 3:50 in the afternoon in the area of the 6400 block of East 65th Place, the city attorney will dismiss all of the remaining charges. Ms. Hazel, is this how you wish to resolve your case today?
Yes,
Okay, did you watch the advisement of rights video?
yes,
Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this charge, you are waiving all of the trial and appeal-related rights that you were advised of in that video?
yes,
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this charge against your will?
no,
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
no,
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
no,
So then to the charge of violating the city ordinance regarding an animal attack on January 28th of 2022 here in Commerce City, how do you plead guilty or not guilty?
guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. I'll find it's knowing, intelligently, and voluntarily made with a full understanding of the rights being waived as well as the possible consequences. Give me just a moment, please. Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. My understanding, there are two counts to the same charge. Did you understand that?
Yes,
Okay, and is it your desire to plead guilty to both of those counts?
yes,
Okay, I'll accept your pleas. I'll find they're knowing, intelligently, and voluntarily made with a full understanding of the rights being waived as well as the possible consequences. Give me just a moment so that I can read the report. All right. Ms. Hazel, is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence in this case?
yes. Just like I explained to the public defender that this is extremely
There's no public defender. Wait, you need to understand, there's no public defender. The person you were speaking to is the prosecutor. It was his job to prove the charges against you.
Okay, okay. Well, number one, this is extremely out of character for my dogs. They are extremely friendly, good dogs. And I'm sure that you know that, okay, sometimes dogs, when they're tormented, and I don't want to say tormented, but teased. For instance, this lady, she walks by our house every single day, twice a day. My dogs, normally they're in the house. We just let them out to go potty, you know. We have a fenced yard that it's totally fenced except for the driveway. And normally they go out, we're right there, they go potty, they come back in. Well, twice a day, my dogs are in the window just barking at her dog. There's a very convenient way that she could go, you know.
No, you need to stop right there. It's
Okay.
perfectly legal to walk her dogs on a leash in public, anywhere on public property. She does not have to take one step towards accommodating your desires or needs. You need to understand that. Okay?
Okay,
So
I agree.
whether
I
there's something more convenient or not is completely irrelevant. Go ahead and tell me what so there's no gate across your driveway?
Right, the driveway, but normally the cars park there, you know.
Yeah, but
But this-
that's not going to prevent a dog to get out. I mean,
Right, and
the car's not going to block the opening. Okay,
we
go
are in the
ahead.
process of closing that up. We definitely are. But number one, Judge, is normally my dogs, they're very friendly. They're not mean in any way. I mean, they anybody comes up in our yard, they're just friendly. They're just not. I think in a dog's world, it was just this particular dog. And we were letting him out to go potty. And she, I guess, had stopped by the driveway and they seen the dog, you know. But, you know, it was very traumatic. I'm not okay with it. And I mean, I understand what you're saying. She has a right to walk.
If she's in a public place where it's entirely lawful for her to be with her dogs, I don't care if she's there for a minute or an hour, she's not doing anything wrong. And so
Right.
this is not on her. She could be running her dog back and forth on the sidewalk in front of your house, knowing that that antagonizes your dogs, and that's still not wrongful behavior on her part. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? What
Yes,
she's doing is perfectly legal. The only
Right.
part, it sounds like that what you guys did is didn't properly secure your dogs into the yard. And I don't show that your dogs have a history of that. So
never. It's
so
out of
anything
character.
else you want me to take into consideration? Is there anything else you want me to take into consideration?
No, just that the fact that we do not just let our dogs run, that's something that, you know, yeah, that we don't do. We're very good with our dogs. We love them. We're attentive to them. And yes, that's it.
Okay, and sir, are you Arthur Anderson?
Yes,
Okay, good. It looks like you've made steps to try to secure the other dogs that you had and
Yes.
prevented this from getting worse. I appreciate
Yes.
that.
no problem. Thank you.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. It's going to sound like a lot, but that's because of the way the city council adopted this new ordinance. I'm going to, on each count, so there's two of them, I'm going to impose a fine of $80 plus surcharges. So the total fine is $160. To that, I'm going to have to add surcharges and court costs. My clerks will send you that information by email. Now, the city attorney says that he hasn't received proof of the rabies vaccination on all of the dogs. So I'm going to require you to do that within the next 15 days.
Okay.
Submit proof of the vaccination of all of the dogs that you have in your household to the court. Now, one of them looks like it's a puppy, but it's at an age now where it should be able to get the rabies vaccine. Not too young for it now. So if you haven't already had a vaccine, get it done within the next 2 weeks. Actually, I'll give you 3 weeks. We'll give you until, let's see, till March 24th to present proof to the court that all of the dogs have received their vaccines.
Thank you.
Okay, give me just a minute. I'm not done. I'm also going to leave the issue of restitution open for 30 days from today's date. It doesn't sound like they took Arius, the pinscher type dog, to a vet, but I want to give the prosecutor a chance to make sure they didn't incur any expenses there. So I'm going to give them 30 days to investigate that. All right. So again, the fine's 160 plus surcharges plus court costs. The proof of the rabies vaccination is due by March 24th of 2022. The issue of restitution is open for 30 days. And I'm going to give you the warning I give everybody. Take whatever steps you believe are necessary to make sure that your dogs aren't put in a position where they do this type of thing again. make it block, put a gate in. I don't care what you do, but adapt the fence along the side of the driveway so that they can't get out the gate, out the driveway in the future. The reason I'm telling you this is because if Junior, Daisy, or Luna bite either another dog or a person, on a second bite, the city attorney is entitled to request that the dog be put down. It doesn't mean it's going to be granted, but they're entitled to request it. Depending on how severe the circumstances are, the judge at the time may decide to do that. If I were still the judge at that time, if I ever have to put a dog down because the owner didn't take the steps to prevent the dog from doing what dogs do, I punish them by sending them to jail. Okay? Because the dogs are just being dogs, especially pit bulls. Pit bulls are very protective of their people and their property. So on their property, they tend to be fine. As soon as they come off the property, that's where the problem exists. That's why it's really important that you take the steps to secure them into the property. And so you're now warned that if something more happens, it's going to be a lot worse than this. Okay?
Right.
All right. Do either one of you have any questions?
No.
Okay,
Thank
so
you
my
very
clerks will get the information to you by email. Make sure you get the rabies information back to us. I don't want to have to set another hearing down the line just on that issue, okay?
Right.
All right, you all are free to leave the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. An Duc Nguyen, if you would unmute your device, and the Vietnamese interpreter, if you would come on the line. Good morning.
Yes, Honor. My name is Chen Tang. I'm an interpreter for An Duc Nguyen.
If you could have Mr. Nguyen unmute his device, please.
Em phải unmute device của em á. Được. Phải bấm cái chữ nghe để nói chuyện. Cái computer của em trong cái code á. I think he needs somebody help on that. So
Okay,
she
we'll
don't
do
know where
that.
to go.
Krista, he needs to unmute the device.
Yeah, được rồi đấy.
Oh, good.
Okay, it's good to go.
All right. And did you say your name was Mr. Tang?
My first name Chen, CHINHN Tang, TANG.
Okay. If you would raise your right hand. You swear or affirm? No, Mr.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, Mr. Nguyen doesn't. Okay. Mr. Tang, would you go ahead and raise your right hand? No, not Mr. Nguyen. I need the interpreter. There you go. All right. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of law that you will truthfully and faithfully translate from the English language to the Vietnamese language, from the Vietnamese language to the English language without embellishment or exaggeration to the best of your ability?
Yes, I do, Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Nguyen, I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of driving with improper lane use, a 3-point violation, the city attorney will dismiss the original speeding charge against you. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today?
Tất nhiên là ông coi cái hồ sơ của em á, là bây giờ người ta xuống từ 6, bây giờ còn 3 điểm, em có đồng ý như vậy hay không?
Có.
Yeah, Honor, he agreed to whatever the 3 point that it is already discussed with public defender.
He's not a public defender. He's the prosecutor.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Mr. Nguyen, did the interpreter review the advisement of rights with you today?
Hồi nãy anh có đọc cái quyền lực của cái tờ mà dài đó để em ký đó, em có anh có đọc cho em rồi em hiểu hay không?
Có.
Yes, he understand what the right on the paper. I'll go over explain to him about that.
Mr. Nguyen, do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you are renouncing all of the trial and appeal related rights that you have in this case?
Chừng nào mà em chấp nhận cái tội này thì tất nhiên là em có quyền khiếu nại hoặc whatever ngày hôm sau đó, nó đúng như vậy. Okay.
Không có khiếu nại đâu.
Em hỏi sao?
Em không có khiếu nại gì đâu, nhận tội rồi.
Yes, Honor, he said he plead guilty to the charge, whatever.
That wasn't my question. Mr. Nguyen, do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea, you are renouncing all of the trial and appeal related rights that you were advised of today?
Tất nhiên là chừng nào mà em nhận tội này là tất nhiên là em không có ai bắt buộc em, phải không? Tất nhiên là tự nhận tội. Yes.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will?
Em có ai bắt buộc em mà nhận tội ngày hôm nay không? No.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
Có ai hứa hẹn cho em nhận tội ngày hôm nay không? No.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
Ngày hôm nay anh lên tòa em có uống rượu say và em uống thuốc ảo phiện hoặc cái này cái kia không? Có không?
Không.
No.
Then to the charge of improper lane use, a 3-point violation on January 16th of 2022 here in Commerce City, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Tất nhiên là hồi ngày 16 tháng Giêng á 2022 đó, bây giờ người ta bớt cái điểm lại còn 3 điểm, bây giờ em nhận tội hoặc không có nhận tội.
Yeah, nhận tội.
Yeah, he's plead guilty, Honor.
Thank you. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
Em có câu hỏi hoặc là em muốn nói chuyện với ông tòa, xin cái này kia nói chuyện với ổng. Okay, go ahead.
Em muốn biết tiền phạt hôm nay là bao nhiêu được không?
He said he want to know how much they charge today.
Okay, I'll explain that to him in a moment. Your driving record shows a ticket from July of 2021 in Fort Lupton, Colorado. Is that entry correct?
Hồi tháng 7 2021 đó em Fort Collins em có một cái ticket có không?
Collins, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to impose a fine against you of $160 plus surcharges plus court costs.
Tất nhiên là ông phạt ngày hôm nay là 160 đồng, rồi cái court bao nhiêu nữa chưa biết.
When you go to the windows in the lobby, my clerks will tell you the total, and if you need them to, they'll work out a payment plan for you.
Thí dụ mà em đi chỗ mà trả tiền á, thí dụ em không có tiền trả thì có lẽ người ta cho ký em trả sau được. Ok, không sao hết.
Do you have any questions?
Có câu hỏi gì nữa không?
Không.
Okay,
He
then
does
go
not
ahead.
have no question.
Okay, then you can go ahead and go to the windows in the lobby and see my clerks. They will help you.
Đi chỗ window để trả tiền em nhé. Chưa biết cái code trả bao nhiêu. Okay, that's it, George.
Okay, thank you. And thank
Thank
you,
you
Mr.
very
Chang.
much.
You can go ahead and leave the meeting, sir.
Cảm ơn anh nhé.
Dạ không sao, anh take cho em rồi đó. Okay.
Dạ,
thank
cảm
you.
ơn anh nhiều. Có gì cần thiết em liên lạc với anh ha.
Okay.
So can I go home?
You can go to the windows in the lobby.
Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. And I'm going to need you to mute that device. Thank you. Because otherwise I get terrible feedback. I seem to recall Adam wanting to leave at 10:30. Why are there two cases?
Because one's from like last year and one's from this year.
But they're one case number apart.
I know, because it's by Tim McGuire, who never writes a ticket, although he said the interpreter name was Asian.
Yeah, I remember that. She'll be right back. I need the Korean interpreter to unmute your device. Also, Ming-Che, Jin, unmute yours. Okay, you're good. The Korean interpreter, if I could have your name, please.
Shin Lee.
Okay, Ms. Lee, do you have a camera capacity?
Yes, Your Honor. Give me 1 second.
There you go. If you could raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of law that you will, without embellishment or exaggeration, translate from the English language to the Korean language, from the Korean language to the English language, to the best of your ability?
Yes.
Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Jin.
네, 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty in case number CM00285231, this is from January 31st of 2022, the city attorney will dismiss case number CM00285230 from September 14th of 2021. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today?
네, 그래서 제가 여기 서류에 보이기에는 오늘 이제 케이스 넘버 CM00285231 케이스에서 오늘 유죄를 인정을 하시면 그게 이제 1월 31일 2022년에 있었던 일이고요. 그거에 이제 인정을 하시면 첫 번째 케이스였던 CM00285230 9월 14일 2021년에 있었던 케이스를 기각을 시켜드리고 두 번째 케이스 유죄를 인정하시는 겁니다. 오늘 그렇게 진행하시기 원하시나요?
네, 그렇게.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. If I accept your agreement, you would be pleading guilty that on January 31st of 2022, in the area of 7280 Magnolia Street here in Commerce City, that you violated the city ordinances by running a business without the license that is required, that failing to meet the standard of conduct for that business, and that the facility requirements were not met for running that business. You would be pleading guilty to those three charges. Do you understand that?
네, 그래서 오늘 유죄를 인정을 하시면 두 번째 지금 케이스였던 1월 31일 2022년에 받으신 혐의 세 가지가 있어요. 샵을 운영하는 데 있어서 라이센스를 소지하지 않으신 거, 그리고 샵을 운영하는 데 있어서 지침을 따르지 않고 어긴 점, 그리고 시설을 유지하는 데 있어서 점검이나 이런 거를 잘 받지 않고 운영하신 점, 그 세 가지에 대해서 유죄를 인정하시는 겁니다. 이해하시나요?
네.
Yes, Judge.
Did the interpreter review the advisement of rights with you about the rights that you have for a trial and for an appeal?
네, 통역사가 이전에 가지고 계신 권리에 대해서 재판의 권리 또는 항소의 권리에 대해서 아까 이전에 설명드렸나요?
네.
Yes, Judge.
Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to these three charges, you are renouncing all of those trial and appeal related rights that you were advised of today?
네, 오늘 만약에 유죄 인정을 하신 건데 이제 판사님께서 이거를 이제 동의를 하셔서 인정을 해주시면 제가 아까 설명드린 그 권리가 없어지는 겁니다. 이해하신가요?
예.
Yes, Judge.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to these three charges against your will?
오늘 혹시 유죄 인정을 하시는 데 있어서 누군가가 강제로 협박을 하였다든지 강제로 유죄 인정을 하라고 얘기를 했다든지 그런 경우인가요?
아니요.
No, Judge.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
오늘 뭐 유죄 인정을 하면 뭐 약속받은 무언가가 있으신가요? 누군가에 의해서?
아니요.
No.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
네, 오늘 이제 법원 심리에서 혹시 지금 뭐 술이나 아니면 마약이나 또 다른 약물 복용에 의해서 오늘 결정을 하는데 무슨 영향을 끼치고 있는가요?
아니요.
No, Judge.
Then to the charge of operating a business without the required license, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
예, 그러면 이제 라이센스 무소지에 관해서 유죄를 인정하십니까?
예.
I plead guilty.
To the charge of violating the standards of conduct for that business, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
네, 시설 운영하는 데 있어서 지침을 어기신 거에 대해서 유죄를 인정하시나요?
네.
I plead guilty.
To the charge of operating a business when the facility, meaning the building, doesn't meet the requirements for that business, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
그 시설을 운영하는 데 있어서 거기에 맞는 점검을 받지 않으신 거에 대해서 유죄를 인정하시나요?
네.
I plead guilty.
I will accept your guilty pleas. I will find that they are knowing, intelligently, and voluntarily made with a full understanding of the rights being waived as well as the possible consequences.
네, 오늘 유죄 인정한 거 받아들이겠습니다. 오늘 유죄 인정하신 거는 아까 말씀드렸다시피 뭐 온전히 본인의 결정에 의해서 그리고 권리와 항소 권리, 재판 권리를 다 이해하시고 결정하신 거라고 생각합니다.
네.
Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
네, 오늘 이제 그거를 어떤 것을 부과할지를 정하기 전에 지금 부연 설명이라도 뭐 하실 말씀이 있으신가요?
아니요.
No, Judge.
Can give me just a moment while I read the report.
잠깐 이제 보고서 잠깐 보는데 시간을 좀 주세요.
네.
All right. Listen carefully to how I'm imposing the sentence, please.
네, 지금 이제 어떤 것을 벌금 또는 형을 선고받으실지 이제 지금 설명드릴게요. 잘 들어주세요.
네.
On the first charge, I'm imposing a fine of $1,100. I am suspending $1,000 of that fine.
네, 첫 번째 케이스에서는 이제 1,100불, 1,100불을 지금 부과를 하실 건데요.
이거 벌금이야?
예, 첫 번째 그 케이스는 1,100불이었는데 그거를 이제 유예를 시켜드리는 거예요.
네.
On the second charge, I'm also imposing a fine of $1,100 and suspending $1,000 of that fine.
네, 그리고 두 번째는 1,100불 마찬가지로인데요. 그 중에서 1,000불을 유예를 시켜드릴 거예요.
On the third charge, I'm imposing a $1,100 fine and suspending $1,000 of that fine.
세 번째로 지금 받으신 그 위반의 혐의에 대해서도 마찬가지로 1,100불 중에 1,000불이에요.
The portions of the fine that are suspended on the condition that you no longer operate a business in the city of Commerce City without a proper license.
네, 그래서 지금 3,300불 중에서 300불 유예된 그 돈을 지불을 하실 때까지 지금 이제 시설을 운영을 하실 수가 없습니다.
예. 이건 어떻게 내야 되는 거예요? 300불 내면 되는 거예요?
So what is the total charge that I need to pay and how do I pay?
The total fine that you will pay is $300. There are surcharges and court costs that will be added to that. My clerks will reach out to you by email today and explain the payment arrangements.
네, 그래서 오늘 총 내셔야 될 돈은 300불이고요. 이제 거기서 이제 법원 요금이라든지 이런 것들이 조금 붙을 거고요. 그리고 그거는 이제 여기 꼭 법원에서 법원 앞에 데스크에서 어떻게 지불을 하실지 도와드릴 거예요.
I want to make entirely clear that you need to completely close Ocean Spa
네, 오션 스파를 완전히 문을 닫으셔야 됩니다.
and that you're not to operate any other business in Commerce City without first securing a proper license for that business.
네, 그리고 커머스 시티에서는 이제 더 이상 어떠한 사업체도 라이센스 소지 없이는 여실 수가 없어요.
If you violate my order, I'm going to impose the $3,000 fines that I suspended today.
네, 그래서 아까 유예시켜드린 3,000불의 벌금이 있죠. 근데 만약에 지금 말씀드린 것을 또 다시 위반할 경우에는 그 3,000불을 다시 부과를 할 거예요.
Additionally, if I find that you willfully violated my order, I can sentence you to jail for up to 6 months for violating my order. Do you understand that?
네, 그리고 이제 그거 이상으로 만약에 또 법을 위반하신다면 이제 6개월 정도의 구치가 되실 수 있고요. 구치소에 가실 수 있어요.
Do you have any questions?
질문 있으세요?
아니요.
No, Judge.
Okay, you can go ahead and leave the meeting. Just look for that email from my court staff.
네, 이제 나가셔도 되고요. 이제 법원에서 이메일로 어떻게 지불하고 할지 이메일로 날아갈 겁니다.
네, 감사합니다.
Thank you.
And thank you, Ms. Lee, for your assistance.
Thank you, Judge.
You may leave the meeting. All right, court's off the record in recess.